Crop Talk on Market Journal is supported by Nebraska soybean farmers and their checkoff. Finally today, it is time to share with you another edition of Crop Talk. This week we sat down with Nebraska Extension Educator Laura Thompson to discuss the many ways that UNL's on-farm research can assist producers with finding innovative ways to increase yield and profitability. Today on Crop Talk, we are joined by Laura Thompson. She's an extension educator and she's the director of the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network. Laura, it's great to have you here on Market Journal. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Talk to us about the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network. What is it?
Yeah, so in Nebraska, we're really privileged to be able to have this network for over 30 years now. And the mission is really to allow producers and crop consultants and industry and the university and our commodity organizations to come together and conduct research on farmers' fields that is relevant to their operation and is locally applicable. And so farmers are very involved in the entire research process, determining research questions that are important for their operation, looking at things that are going to impact their farm's productivity, their profitability, and really thinking about what's going to make a difference in the long-term sustainability of their operation. So we're really involved in helping producers set up those trials, carry them out on their farms using the equipment and the technology they have, helping them set them up in a robust way so that they can get reliable information, and then helping them analyze and interpret it and do some of that data crunching so that they can get meaningful information out of it at the end.
Well, I'm sure as 2022, the end of it nears, you've been busy compiling reports and looking back on some of the projects in 2022. If you don't mind, share with our viewers today an example or two of some of the research that took place.
Yeah, so it's always fun to get to see some of the results coming in right now. And there's a huge variety of research studies each year. So that's one thing that's really fun about the program is that farmers have so many interesting ideas that they want to try. So some that we've been looking at are soybean planting date, seeding rate, evaluating variable rate seeding for soybeans, looking at nitrogen management for corn, looking at fungicide applications, looking at row spacing studies, evaluating how to implement cover crops best in our operations, whether that be seeding rates, dates, interseeding, termination timing, all the aspects around managing that cover crop. As well as looking at some equipment studies, looking at some new technologies, looking at how maybe active downforce or some of those technologies might play out in operations.
There's an opportunity for producers to get involved with this. We'll talk about that here in a moment, but you mentioned kind of research within corn and soybeans. Are you open to all crops grown in Nebraska, or how do you kind of open this up to producers?
Yeah, so we are open to all crops. Most of the research is being done on corn, soybeans, dry edible beans, and wheat. So those are the primary areas that producers are working with. But we have had projects on other crops and welcome anyone to be involved.
What kind of results and feedback have you heard from producers that take part in this?
Yeah, so producers really enjoy getting to see what the research is showing on their own farms. It's very applicable, as well as seeing what their neighbors are doing and learning. Producers really feel that it's reliable and robust, and it impacts their management going forward. So that's very exciting and rewarding to see.
You are recruiting producers to join you in 2023 as part of the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network. If someone's interested, how do they go about that process and identifying a project that they want to be doing in the next year?
Yeah, well, this is a great time for them to be thinking about that. The past season is probably still a little bit fresh on the mind, and with harvest wrapped up, people probably know different things that maybe were interesting that they saw or kind of wondered, what if I had done this differently? And so those questions can be a great springboard into on-farm research studies for next year. So maybe they were wondering if that fungicide application really paid off or was really necessary. And so maybe that's something they want to try to evaluate through an on-farm research study next year. Or was did I optimize my nitrogen fertilizer application? And so we can help set up those trials. So I'd encourage, as people are moving into this planning season, fertilizer application and input purchasing, to kind of keep in mind what things they might want to evaluate and what's going to be important for their operation going down the road.
Laura, of course, if producers are curious, they could go do this on their own, but what's the benefit of them partnering with you all?
Yeah, well, our goal is really to help facilitate the program. We're going to help set up those trials in a way that's going to be robust and give confidence in the results, and really try to facilitate that as well as help with a lot of that data crunching and the numbers. And so we'll be able to work with the technologies they have, whether that's a weigh wagon or yield monitor to collect that data, as well as helping collect some other information during the season and help kind of monitor those studies throughout the year. So really trying to help bring confidence, help with that analysis and reporting, and bring those conclusions to the farmers.
The website for our viewers interested in learning more is onfarmresearch.unl.edu. Laura, I've also seen some of the studies and the data that you've compiled from years past. Is that also available on the website for producers to go see?
Yes, all the past research results. There are now over 1,000 studies that are available on our website, and you can view those as a PDF from each year's report book, or you can use our searchable database that's on there. And so you can search by the county that you live in and see what studies have been done in your area. You can also search by a topic. Maybe there's something specific you're wanting to learn about. And so that's a great way to get some information that's relevant to your area and maybe get some ideas about what you want to look at in the future.